Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I've been a little MIA here on YouTube. We were really busy with the moving from Florida back to our hometown in Kentucky, and we're settling in, trying to find routine, but I wanted to take you guys through a full week of workouts with me. I train for aesthetics, but I also want to be strong. So bench, I'm kind of like, I'm very inconsistent with it. After I hit 142 pounds on bench last year, I just was like, oh, hit my goals. And like, since I'm not competing, I was like, yeah, I don't really like this as much anymore. So I honestly cut out bench for a long time. I'm introducing it again, but honestly, like I'm so inconsistent with it. Like there will be a day where I have bench in my program and I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like benching today, and I don't, which obviously if I was competing, that would be different. I would be more on top of that, but I more so am drawn to squats and deadlifts. So my squat goal is to squat 315 pounds for a single. And then as far as deadlifts go, I want to deadlift 315 pounds for a triple, which I attempted, which if you've watched my vlogs before, I attempted before, failed it. I got 2. And then the 3rd rep just could not get, but tomorrow I'm going to try to redeem that. So I'll take you along with me tomorrow for my triple. I am beginning a little mini cut before Hawaii. We leave for Hawaii in June. So I'm going to decrease my calories a little bit and hopefully I can hold on to as much strength as possible. But I wanted to take you through my full week of workouts just to show you guys what I like to do for strength and aesthetics. I'm gonna mix up my creatine with some pre-workout and get headed to the gym. You guys, that unrack was so bad, but the fact that 310 moved, PR, yay! I'm so excited. Next week we'll be going for 315. I want to do it now. I just want to get it over with, but I gotta follow program because obviously that top set fatigued me, and if I go again and say I fail it, I'm gonna accumulate all this fatigue for next week and cut my chances of getting through 15. So gotta stay recovered and follow the program, but we are gonna do my back downs, okay, so for my top set, I did 310 pounds for a single, and this is what my program looks like. So it's just like a little Excel sheet, and then I plug it in for my coach to see. But I have my back down sets at 3 sets of 5 reps at RPE 6.5. So fairly easy. Let's see what I did last week. Last week I was pretty tired. Obviously if you saw my vlog, 300 pounds moved so bad last week because I was not recovered well at all, even though it's moved so smoothly in the past. So I worked with 245 because that's how I felt that day. So like RPE is dependent on so many different factors. It's not gonna be like a specific weight every single week. There's other factors that come into play on how hard something can feel to you on that given day due to your recovery. So this week I feel pretty good. So last week, let's say I worked with 245 and I felt like crap. Probably want to bump it up a little bit because it's a higher RPE than last week. So 6.5 RPE, I'll probably work with 250 pounds today, and I'll do that for 3 sets of 5. Okay, so I took my sleeves off, putting my shoes back on, and I'm gonna do some beltless squats, beltless pause squats. So this week I have 2 sets of 3 at RPE 4, which is like nothing. So just getting in some beltless pause squats just for fun because I want to get stronger at them. If you guys know Clarence Kennedy, he is one of my biggest inspirations on squatting. His squats look so freaking cool. He squats literally ass to grass. I'll put a video up on the screen, but he's big inspo. We just left the gym. I'm gonna go finish hip thrusts at home just because I have the hip thrust set up there and the gym that I go to doesn't have a 12-inch box. So I'm gonna do some barbell hip thrusts, and that's the last accessory on my program. Okay, so I made it home and we've got hip thrusts. We're gonna do 3 sets of 10 to 12. I'm gonna keep it light just because tomorrow I'm gonna redeem my 315 triple for deadlifts and I don't wanna be too sore. But yeah, here we go.
I get bored easily, I do. A minute I want him, another I want you. It's almost like I'm in a gun.
You don't want to flare your ribs like this, because then you're gonna put all that stress in your low back. So when you hip thrust, you wanna keep a nice neutral spine, and I like to take a deep breath, go all the way down, and then squeeze. So you want your core to be nice and tight and engaged. You don't want a loosey-goose core. Welcome back, you guys. This is day 2 of my training program. I'm currently on the treadmill now, just warming up. I'm gonna do about 10 minutes or so. Today we have 315 for a triple attempt, my redemption for that. And today is actually my cousin Bang's birthday. Heavenly birthday, happy birthday Bang. I will be attempting 315 for 3 again, and I brought her to put on the barbells, these little magnets that I had when I attempted last time. I brought those with me again to put on the barbells. So I'm excited to have her with me in spirit. Today we have deadlifts, and then we've got some upper. So I'll take you through that sesh.
I got the style and pattern. Yeah, I got the style and pattern. Hey, I got the style and pattern. Yeah, I got the style and pattern. Bass for your head top. Bass for your head top. Big bad bass for your head top. Big head top. Bass for your head top.
Switching platforms because I don't know why, but that one felt really slippery.
Big bad bass for your head top.
There's my cousin, you guys. Say happy birthday, Bang! This one's for you. go! Did you guys see that? Oh my God. That moved so easy. Bang! Thank you, Bang! Yay! Can't get this magnet off, but I'm so excited. You guys, I'm so freaking excited. Oh my God. I've been longing for 315 for 3 for a while now, and oh my God, yes! So next up, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And that was like, I had more left in the tank too, but Isaac was like, when we got here, he was like, your strength is there. You should go for more, even if it's not programmed for fun, but I have to push squats really hard next week, so I want to make sure I'm recovered really well, and deadlifts really tax you, so I'm just gonna stay on program, but oh, I'm so excited. So I did my top set of 3 at 315, and then I will do my back down sets. I have 3 sets of 2 at RP 6.5, so fairly easy. Let's see what I did last week. Last week I did 295, and that was at RPE 6, so I will probably, I don't know. I'll see how like 295, 300 feels. And then if, you know, after the first set, if I'm like really fatigued, I'll probably drop it down a little bit. 300 for 2. For 2, my lord. Pick number 2, my lord. Up next we have 2 count bench. 2 count means a 2 count pause. So I'll be pausing at the bottom for 2 seconds. I have 3 sets of 4 at RPE 6. Okay, next up we have lat pull downs, and let's see how many sets and reps we have. We have 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 10. I'm gonna use my Versa grips here. This allows me to not worry about my grip strength and just really focus on the exercise. I really like these for RDLs, deadlifts, if you are gonna strap up, and then pull-ups or any kind of like row movement. You can get these off of Amazon. I think they run for like 50 to 60 bucks, maybe 70, I can't remember, but these are really good if you want to do like pull-ups. guys, I just got done with a solid core class. I took a core and obliques. It was like a focus 50 core and obliques and lower body class. Just to give you a little backstory, for the past several months, I've been incorporating Legree twice a week, one to two times a week, depending on my workout schedule, because it does take a lot to kind of plan around my weightlifting schedule, because you have to take into consideration your soreness and stuff like that. So if I was, you know, too sore to go, sometimes I would cancel or I would move it a different day, or sometimes I'd even do it in the same day. But before, when I lived in Florida, I was going to this studio called Studio Physique, and I highly recommend it if you guys are in the area. I love that studio so much. The instructors are really amazing. The flow is really, really good. It's super challenging, and I love their washboard Wednesdays. That was like the highlight of my Wednesdays. I loved it so much, and I found that I really, really love doing core with like a group setting and Legree style. So you can imagine Legree is like if strength training and Pilates had a baby. That's what somebody told me. That's what it would be. So it's very, very slow. It's all about time under tension. It focuses on core and stability, full body, getting stronger in the lengthened position. So I really, really like to incorporate it in my routine, although it has been a little tricky. Like if I'm deadlifting one day and then I have a Legree class scheduled the next day, sometimes it's just like a little too much for my body to handle. So I'll adjust accordingly. But yeah, so ever since I moved to Kentucky, unfortunately the area that I live in doesn't have a specific Legree studio. So it's called Solid Core. It's the only Legree, most similar to Legree studio that is offered here. So I go to Solid Core, and I'm still trying to figure it out. The microphones are pretty muffled compared to the studios that I'm used to going to, so it's a little hard to understand. And then the machines are a bit different than the ones that I'm used to. So it's still a mega former, I think, but it has like two different ends with different springs. So like for instance, today we were doing a lot of ab work, and I feel like I wasn't challenged because my springs were just too easy, but I didn't know if I was supposed to take off the springs on this side versus adding them on this side. So I met with the instructor after class, and she was like, just let me know if you need it harder and I'll help you out. But that's gonna be something I need to get used to, just because I'm so used to the flow of Studio Physique in Florida. I still really, really like to work on core with the Megaformer. I feel like it's made such a big difference in my abs. So before, when I was cutting, I have never had abs so defined until I started doing Legree. Like I'm not even kidding you. Obviously it's going to be diet is going to be number one thing, and I was eating in a deficit, but I was doing so much more core work when I went on my last mini cut, and oh my gosh, my abs were just like shredded. So I love Legree for that reason. But yeah, it's just really fun, different style core work that I really like to be challenged with. So as far as incorporating Legree into my schedule, I try to go Wednesdays and Saturdays if possible, but again, like I said, I have to adjust accordingly depending on my soreness. Hello vlog, happy Friday. Today is my second squat day, so I've got a full squat and leg day today. Today's a little bit of a deload on my squats just because I'm pushing hard next week on Monday, potentially 315. No, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
We're getting it. So let's see. Today we have squats, hip thrusts. We have a split squat or a lunge, depending on what I feel. Hamstrings, donkey calf raises. I might throw in some RDLs just for extra glute work. We are headed to Crunch just because we had to drive up to my dad's in Cincinnati area, just because the area that we live in, there's a potential risk of a tornado developing, so we wanted to just stay on the safe side and go somewhere where they have a basement, because we don't have a basement. So we are in Cincinnati, so our gyms are pretty limited. We're gonna head to Crunch. All right, we made it to Crunch. I warmed up on the treadmill, did my normal backward walking for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then I did some dynamic warm-ups. And now I'm going to get my sleeves prepared, because it kind of takes a lot to get these ready. But I just wanted to show you guys how I roll my sleeves, because I've been getting a lot of questions on how I put my sleeves on. So this is my sleeves. These are the gold sleeves from Ponzu Power. I do have a code with them. Code Chana saves you 10%. And what I like to do, this is with any sleeve across the board, in order to get these suckers on, so I fold the bottom and I fold the top. So it might take me a little bit, but these ones are really rigid, really stiff. So they take a little bit more to work with, but I fold the bottom like this, and then I'll fold the top. And what I like to do is I will fold this top all the way down. So I push it all the way down and kind of overlap the bottom like this. And then I'll put it on. And when I'm ready, I'm gonna warm up without sleeves first, but I just kind of like to have them on here and ready to go when I do need to put my sleeves on. Okay, so I'm ready to put my sleeves on. So what I like to do is, let's see, I'll go this way. I literally just pull it up like this. And then I fold the top. And the bottom. There you go. So last week I did 250 pounds at RPE 6 for a set of 4. So this week I have a higher RPE at 6.5 RPE. So I'm gonna do 255 for a set of 4 for my top set. So 255 moved pretty easily. Last week, let's see, my back downs were 3 sets of 7 at RPE 5, which I used 215 pounds. And I have to go up a little bit this week, so usually I go up about 5 pounds. So I'm gonna work with 220 pounds for my back downs of 3 sets of 7, which 3 sets of 7, like anything higher than like 5 feels like cardio to me. And it gets me out of breath. Okay, apparently my microphone wasn't working, so I have to film this clip again, but I finished my first set and I finished my second set, but typically I like to rest for about 3 to 5 minutes in between each set, and then after I finish my last set here, we'll go into accessories. All right, we've got hip thrusts next. Normally I like to set up my 12-inch box against a wall, but it's really busy in here, so this is what I gotta work with, but we're gonna do 3 sets of 8 to 10. Also, just wanted to say this hip thrust pad is essential. It's off of Amazon. If you just type in balance workout pad on Amazon, I have the extra large one, and it takes off the stress of the barbell so much compared to the little noodle ones. Just finished my last set. One thing I wanted to say is typically I'll go to failure, if not close to failure, on my accessory work, but since I'm pushing really hard next week on my squats, I want to make sure that I'm really well recovered. So I don't want to fatigue myself too much this week so I can be primed for my squats next week. All right, you guys, this is one of my favorite variations of RDLs. So I'm definitely gonna take advantage of it because the gyms that I go to, they don't have a landmine, but if your gym has a landmine, definitely try these out if you haven't. These are called landmine RDLs, and I feel my glutes so good when I do these. Just get like the best mind muscle connection. And what I like to do is I like to use these smaller plates because it creates more of a deficit because I'm pretty flexible, so my mobility is really good. So I need a really deep stretch in order to feel my glutes optimally. So what I like to do is I like to get the smaller 25s more compared to the big 45 plates, because if you have the bigger 45 plates, I can't go as deep. So I like to use these. And then what you could also do is if you do want to use like the bigger plates, you could also create a deficit by standing on plates if you want. But I'm just going to work with the ground and the smaller plates here. And this is where these Versa grips come in handy. So I'm gonna put these on. I was supposed to do my split squats next, but the Smith machine is taken, so I'm just gonna do these first. But this is what I like to do. So you're gonna take the Versa grips and you're gonna cup it like this, and that's how you're gonna hold on to the barbell. And it's literally an RDL, just with a landmine. So I'm gonna pick it up like this. And you're gonna send those hips back into a hinge, like your butt is touching the wall back behind you. So you're gonna go down into an RDL, keep your knees bent, and then come up. I'm gonna do 10 to 15. Ooh, ooh, holy moly. Those are good, you guys. Whew. Feel them so good. Just another tip with any kind of RDL, you wanna make sure you're not flaring your ribs or hyperextending your back like this because it puts a lot of stress on your lower back. So you wanna make sure your core is nice and engaged with every single rep. So as you come down, you wanna keep that bar very close to you. So you're gonna hinge back, take a deep breath in, and I hold my breath as I go down. Send those hips back, keep your legs bent. Once you achieved that lengthened position where you can't go anymore, everybody's mobility is gonna be different, so you don't have to go all the way down here. If your mobility doesn't allow it and only allows you to go here, that's totally fine. That's all you really need. Once you achieve here, you're gonna come back up, and that's when you can exhale. So you're gonna go down, send those hips back, keep that core nice and engaged, and then come up. We don't want this. Up next, we have a Smith machine split squat or Bulgarian split squat, or you could do a reverse lunge. So you could do it on this machine, or what I've been doing lately is because I don't usually go to crunch, I go to this other gym and they have a power squat. So if you've seen my reels on Instagram, I'm usually doing this with a power squat for the time being, but right now I'm gonna do it with the Smith machine, and I really like this because you don't have to focus on the balance, you could just focus on the muscle working because it's assisted. So today we're gonna do 2 sets of 10 to 12. Typically I like to do 3 sets, but again, as I was saying before, is I need to be primed and ready to go next week for my big squat. so I don't want to accumulate too much fatigue. So I'm gonna do 2 sets. So 2 sets of 10 to 12. And I'm gonna just see what this weight feels like before I decide if I wanna go up. So you're gonna put your foot up here, and you're gonna want to hinge a little forward to put more emphasis on the glute here. So I'll just show you. I need to push this bench a little back because I'm not able to lean as far forward as I want to. So we're gonna retry that again. All right. There we go. You guys, I said I wasn't gonna go up, but I'm gonna go up. Hell yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and do my hamstring curls, and I'm gonna do it on the seated leg curl this time. Typically what I like to do is on my first leg day out of the week, I will do a seated leg curl one day, and then I'll do a lying leg curl the next leg workout, just to give my muscles a little bit of variety. But we're gonna do the seated leg curl this time, and we've got 3 sets of 10 to 12. I have to really focus on these, you guys, because I have a hard time feeling my hamstrings, which is probably why I'm so quad dominant. But sometimes when I just keep my feet loosey-goosey here, it helps me really focus on the hamstrings doing the work rather than using momentum. But felt pretty good. Happy Sunday, you guys. I'm headed in for my last day of my training program. Today is day 4, and I have beltless squats on the menu. Also, I've got some upper body work, so I'll take you through what that session looks like. This is high volume. I'm combining this with some creatine for my pre-workout. So this high volume here is different than the prolific. High volume has no caffeine, prolific has caffeine. I don't want to have caffeine before this workout. I just want a good pump, so I'm going to combine these two, and this flavor is guava pineapple punch. So gonna mix this up, and then we'll get headed to the gym. I'm gonna start warming up for my squats. I'm gonna show you guys this rig squat stretch, which is really, really easy. This is a really good hip opener. So you're just gonna take the rig. Let's see if I can push this down a little bit. You could take a pole or anything really, And you just want to get into that squat position and then pull yourself as close as you can. I like to wiggle around a little bit to really get my hips nice and loose. And I just spend a little time here. You can do some squats if you want to. You can take your stance wider if you want. You can go side to side. You can pull back, lean back if you want to. It's really, really nice. I am about to do some beltless pause squats. So this is raw squats, so no belt, no sleeves. And I do have my shoes. So these shoes are Nike Romaleos 4. These provide a nice heel elevation, allows you to get into that deeper squat, especially if you struggle. I don't struggle with my mobility. I can still get into a deep squat without them, but I do really like them because they provide me a lot of stability and they're pretty heavy. So like I feel very planted into the ground. I just really like squatting in these. So you don't need to, but these are a good squat shoe if you do want to invest in some good squat shoes. I'm just gonna drop it 10 pounds. So 3 sets of 2. And I usually like to pause for about 1 to 2 seconds. So up next we have a 2-count bench, and I just want to show you guys, we're at a bodybuilding gym right now, so they don't have like the wider powerlifting friendly benches. So I'm going to show you why I don't like these benches over here. Although I'm going to have to work with what I've got today, and I'll show you what I do instead. But these benches here, the benches here are like, they're skinnier, so your shoulder blades kind of come off of it, which you don't get the most stability out of that. That's why I prefer the wider ones. But you see here how these are, most corporate gyms like Crunch or just like the bodybuilding focused gyms have these type of benches where you're limited on the height of where you can put the barbell. So like for instance, I bench really wide, and this is just too tall for me to get off of it. And then you've got this one, which it's still a little too tall, and it bonks on these JPEGs here, which I don't like. And then you obviously have like it really low here, but this is just like too low. So I don't love those benches. So what we're gonna do instead, we're gonna go to a power rack, and I'm just gonna have to work with a skinnier bench today, but I'm gonna adjust these to my height. So I've customized it to my height, and I just want to show you guys. You know, actually, this bench isn't bad at all. It's definitely not as skinny as the Crunch benches. It's just not as grippy. So the powerlifting ones are typically a little wider and more grippier, so you can really grip into the bench. This one's really not bad. I actually don't mind this one, but yeah, I can work with this. It's just those crunch ones, man, those are slippery. But for my setup, this is the perfect height. So as I unrack, I can bench, and then I can re-rack without bonking any of the JPEGs up here. I've got a 2 count bench at a single. Ooh, it's RPE 7. Okay, and then I've got back downs at 3 sets of 6. So what I like to do for a warm up with bench is I literally just bench. So I'm gonna do a set of 10 or so just to get the groove going. And normally I wear flatter shoes like my deadlift shoes, but I forgot those today. And I don't really know why I wore my Hokas, but I did. So the flatter shoes allow you to really push and be stable into the ground, but it is what it is. Another warm up I like to do is I just take the band and I get nice and loose in my shoulders, take it all around. Sometimes I'll do some face pulls. Sometimes I'll turn it around and I'll do some presses. And then with bench, you want to get your lats nice and warm. So sometimes I'll take the band here and you can do what? So you just wrap the band around here, or you can use a cable if you want and just do some pullovers. Get the lats nice and warm and activated before you start benching. You can do some rows. Yeah, just get nice and loose, nice and warm before you start benching. 2.5, here we go. 120. Help me, help me, help me, help me. Why is it so much heavier today? What the heck? What? Why? I got that on film. I don't want to. So if Isaac wasn't there, what I would have done is, the reason I didn't put the little clips on, because if you are by yourself, you can just tip it over this way and the plate should fall off. But he was there and it wasn't that heavy, so yeah. Since that clearly was a fail, I'm not gonna do another top set at 7 because I'm just not. So I'm going to do my back down still. 3 sets of 6 at RPE. Let me find my phone. Let's see here. We're supposed to do back downs 3 sets of 6 at RPE 6. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that and call it a day with bench. still felt really hard. We have some chin-ups with a neutral grip, and don't necessarily want to go to failure on these, but we'll go close to failure. I'll do 8. Next up, we've got dumbbell incline press, and I have it at the lowest incline, and we're gonna do 3 sets of 8 to 10. 1, 2, 3. One more. Ooh, that's good. Seated cable rows, 3 sets of 10 to 12. I'm gonna put this attachment on there, and I'm going to use my Versa grips for these. That way I can just focus on the muscle and not my grip. All right. This one's not my favorite because I feel like I can't really get a good stretch. Because I'm short. So as you can see, I lose the tension here. But, all right. So we're gonna go midline. We're gonna go like this. Kind of round your upper back a little bit to get a stretch. Tricep cable push down, 3 sets of 12 to 15. I'm gonna use this attachment here. So if you don't have this one, you could just use a rope. Let's work with that. See how that feels. Looks like we're only getting 12. Ooh, that was tough. Just gonna round off the workout with some lateral raises on this machine. I really love this machine if you have it. Otherwise, you could just do a dumbbell lateral raise or a kettlebell lateral raise. But we're just gonna burn it out. I'm just gonna go to failure on these. I'm gonna do 2 sets to failure. You can see the range of motion is getting so small. Ooh. So that wraps up my day 4 workout. I am pretty lenient with upper body days, honestly. Obviously, like you guys saw, I failed bench. I have been super inconsistent with it because I'm not competing in powerlifting, so bench is my least favorite, so I don't really treat it as priority like I do with squats and deadlifts, just because I really enjoy squats and deadlifts. But yeah, I just kind of have fun with it. My goals with upper body aren't necessarily to grow my upper body anymore. I'm just kind of maintaining, just getting some upper body work in, just to have balance throughout the body. But if your goals are to build your upper body, you definitely want to utilize progressive overload. You want to be consistent with the exercise choices that you choose and try to follow a solid program with those. For my upper body days, just like the one I just showed you, that workout, that's what it'll look like. Or some days I'll combine my push exercises and do just a full push day. Sometimes I combine the pull exercises and do just a full pull day. So I just kind of do whatever I want and have fun with it. But that wraps up the video. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this full week of workouts. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you next time. Bye!